The Green Bay Packers made history in the 2025 NFL Draft, but how do they do overall with the rest of their selections? My name's Tyler, here with my brother Ryan, and we're going to break down the Packers 2025 draft class. Before we get into that, Ryan is getting married here in a couple of weeks, so send him an early wedding day present by hitting that subscribe button, tackling that bell, and leaving a like and a comment. Let us know what you think of the Packers class. And Ryan, as I said, Packers drafted a first round receiver, first time since 2002, Matthew Golden, receiver from Texas. Then in the second round, they got Anthony Belton, offensive tackle from NC State. Then Savion Williams, receiver from TCU in the third round. Then on day three, they started off with Barryn Sorrell, edge rusher from Texas, which I thought was pretty cool. Even him just kind of sticking around there and then like getting called and being able to go on stage in front of the home crowd. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Then Collin Oliver, linebacker from Oklahoma State. Then Warren Brinson, defensive tackle from Georgia. Micah Robinson, cornerback from Tulane. And then wrapping up in the seventh round, John Williams, offensive tackle from Cincinnati. I'll say this. I really do like their first four picks. Nothing against like their bottom four picks, but those are like later day three picks trying to just get good depth overall. But I thought they did a solid job getting Golden. He's a guy that has a speed I think would fit really well in a Matt LaFleur system. I think Anthony Belton has a lot of good traits and someone that they can go and develop and kind of beef up, continuing to beef up that offensive line. Savion Williams, I think, is another guy too that's going to fit really well in a Matt LaFleur system. Like if you get him the ball, I think as we saw at TCU this year, how effective he is, like in when the ball's in his hands and creating things. I think he's going to fit really well. And them going two receivers with their first three picks, I think that makes sense, especially two with unfortunately Christian Watson. I, I don't. It's unfair to say like he's not panning out, but he also just can't stay healthy. That's just his biggest thing, and
Yeah.
he who knows how much he's going to play this year. And Barryn Sorrell, though, too, edge rusher from Texas, had a solid career at Texas as well. So, want to throw it over to you. What are your thoughts on these first four picks, the draft as a whole, and get into just kind of how you think it's going to impact the Packers' season this year?
Yeah. So I love the Matthew Golden pick. I thought that was a surprising pick just because I had always kind of invested in the trenches for them. They're at pick 23 throughout our offseason. But I really like the investment in Matthew Golden. Gives them a lot of speed. Him, Jaden Reed, Christian Watson could be healthy. Savion Williams. They have Romeo Dobbs. Gives them a lot of different options at that wide receiver position. The redundancy at wide receiver at first I didn't like, not gonna lie, but you go look, a lot of those guys are getting to the end of their rookie contracts, and I think they those contracts are very expensive to
Real
re-up.
quick, when you say redundancy, you mean like the fact that they picked receiver or
The fact that they
similarities?
picked the fact that they
Okay,
picked two receivers in an already crowded wide receiver room, but a lot of those wide receivers are getting to the end of their yeah, I'm not saying redundancy and skill set, not
okay,
even close.
okay.
Yeah, no, but the fact that they just picked two, but a lot of the wide receivers in that room are getting close to the end of their rookie contracts. Receivers are becoming one of the more expensive contracts to maintain on your roster. So I think that's not a good sign for I think a lot of the guys that are on the roster currently, specifically like Christian Watson, will probably not get a second contract with the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
Um, so I like Savion Williams. I think they got him at a good value. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really like the Anthony Belton pick. I thought that was a bit of a reach. I thought on tape he has some of the skill sets that you look for in a true left tackle. However, he had mental lapses, and every now and then you could see his weight really kind of affecting him, especially against some speedier pass rushers. He had trouble picking up stunts at times, and then I think you go and look at the tackles that were on the board. Ariante Ursary went like 8 picks before him. Ozzie Trapillo went after him. And then Charles Grant also went after him. Those were two guys that I had actually ranked above him as well on my draft board. And so I just felt like that was a bit of a reach, but I like the traits there. I just felt it was a little early for a traits based tackle in the draft. So day three, I thought they did a good job getting value there. I like the Barryn Sorrell pick. Yeah, that's a cool story going out and getting to be in front of the home crowd there in Green Bay. So I think all in all, this was a good draft. It's not one of my favorites just because of the reach with Belton. But I thought they did a good job. They added talent there, and I think it's exciting for Packers fans to finally get that first round wide receiver.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Then to see the whole crowd erupt. Like as soon as the guy said that, everybody in the whole crowd knew like what was coming up next. But to your point though, too, it's with that receiver room. It's like Romeo Dobbs. Like I do like Jaden Reed, but like if you look at Dobbs, Dontavian Wicks, or even some of the other guys on here that have played like Malik Heath or like Bo Melton, guys that have like been in that receiver room. Like those are great, just complementary guys, I think, to the system and fit really well into what LaFleur is looking for. But when
Mhm.
I look to see like what can take that offense to the next level, are guys with that skill set, but are just more elite than that. And I
Yeah.
think Golden and Savion Williams are going to fit really well into Matt LaFleur's system, where there's a lot of motion, a lot of misdirection, guys creating their own or plays that create space for guys, so to say. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I think when you've got that speed there, I think it's going to be extremely interesting. They've really Tucker Craft in that tight end room. I think they've also drafted well there in
Mhm.
2023. So I do think with Anthony Belton, I get your point, and this is where I lean towards more like I just the scout room. Like I'm going to trust the scout room overall. Like if they like this guy, they feel like they can develop this guy because as of right now, they have Rasheed Walker as their left tackle, who's a 7th round pick from 2022. He's coming in to the final year of his rookie contract as well. So similar, I think, to Chicago with Ozzie Trapillo and like Braxton Jones, be like, hey, we need to make a decision. Like we need to get some competition here, get younger, maybe a guy that can come in and be that much better overall. So I think the one area, like I do like Barryn Sorrell, but I think one area where I think they could have done a little bit better would have just been in the front seven as a whole. I get the push for it, but then waiting until just get a one edge rusher till day
Yeah.
3, and I get like you can only do so much. Like I compliment them on getting the receiver room, but then that's a knock on like not getting enough on the
Yeah.
like edge rushing. That being said, though, they did get 3 guys in the front seven, like with like their first 3 picks in day 3. So like to be like, so they did address it, but it's like,
Yeah.
where is that value overall? You're hoping that some of those guys hit, and if not, then it is what it is. But because I think that was an area I think they could have done a little bit better in. But but I'm being picky though because I just complimented the first 3 picks. So it's
Yeah.
like I can't have it both ways. So it is what it is. That's just the draft overall. You got to hope that these guys continue to keep on developing. Like they have some good guys in secondary. I mean Xavier McKinney is a hit. I would say like signing him from free agency last year. Jair Alexander is really good when healthy. He just needs to stay healthy overall. That's just the
Yeah.
biggest issue. So just I'm curious how this defense is going to shape up. I think offensively, I expect them to be one of the better offenses in the league if they can stay healthy.
I am so excited for this team to I mean, you have Josh Jacobs, Savion Williams, Matthew Golden, Jaden Reed. Like that is an elite skill position group. But then also too, like imagine the creativity that Matt LaFleur is going to have with the variety of weapons that he has. And that's why like going back and looking, while I was originally critical of the wide receiver move, you go add Savion Williams into this. They did sacrifice maybe not getting another corner or not getting another edge rusher. But I think going out there and
Yeah.
adding that, it makes this offense even more explosive. And with some of these guys' contracts coming up soon, I think it was a good move. So um, I I I know I just complimented them. I'm gonna give this draft a C minus. I'm gonna go slightly below average. My average grade is a
Uh,
C. Uh, so just because I don't like the Anthony Belton pick nearly as much, and I like the 2 wide receivers there, but I am grading the first 3 picks a lot more than the day 1 and 2 picks, and so I felt like the reach there with Belton knocks us down to a little below average.
I was going to give this a B plus. I feel like A minus maybe a little too high just because my critique with the edge rushers. And I get your point for like if you just don't like Anthony Belton, I get that. But I think they got offensive line depth for the future and brought in competition, and then they addressed that receiver room as well. And then they did address the front seven overall heavily
On
I
day
say
3,
heavily
yeah.
on day 3. So it is day 3
Yeah.
pick, yes, but I think there was a clear mission like on what we need to do to get better
Yeah.
overall, and I think they accomplished that. So I'll give it a B plus. So I think it's slightly above average. Not the best draft, yes, but
Yeah.
I think there's some good things to like overall.
Yeah. I just like I would have taken Charles Grant, Ozzie Trapillo there. That
Sure.
like that's where I had those guys slotted. And I had Anthony Belton actually as a or like early round 4 pick on my board. So I like I like the traits there. I just think there's a lot of development, and that might not be worth the the 52nd overall selection.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest gripe there. And again, with waiting the first couple picks more,
Yeah.
it knocks it down for me. So let's go ahead. Let's wrap up this video here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. That is the best way to help out the channel. While you're down there, leave a comment on what you thought of the Packers 2025 draft class. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you have done differently than that? We'll see you guys next time.